I must have rehearsed my life a thousand times
Mm.
till I had them
Mm-hmm.
memorized. But when I get up the nerve
Mm.
to tell you the words.
Mm.
Yeah, because y'all was sleeping on the vocal cords. Y'all was sleeping on the vocal cords. Hold up. Oh, memorize.
Come
Oh,
on.
if only you do how much I do
Come on.
to love you. You know why I'm singing this song? Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Only you do.
If only he knew.
If Hey everybody, what is up, Lighthouse? I want everybody to know that the reason we have been gone has been solely Samaj's.
First of all, he loves to give me a platform. First of all, so I can tell all his business. He has been out.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. What was that?
He, as I said, he was out there thoughting and bopping. And so when we talk about doing a show and he does not show up because he's giving somebody a show, this is how we end up in the predicaments we end up in.
I can't
Okay.
believe this.
You see the spirit. You see his chest is out.
I can't but I can't believe this. I can't
Please.
believe the sheer attack that I have come underneath from for someone who I thought was my dear friend. You know, the thing about it is,
Mm-hmm.
I had a great time yesterday in
Mm.
particular because I had a nice date.
Mm-hmm.
I had a nice date. A lot of the girls don't have any dates. They don't have dates to go on. They
Attack
don't
me.
have bookings. They have no dates. But I'm grateful for the dates that I do have. So
Please.
I had a great date yesterday, and
Mm-hmm.
Samaj is being hateful, a little bitter, a
Okay.
little bitter,
You know,
a
I
little
just I just think for someone who teaches what he teaches, he should just
because y'all want me wrapped in cloth and blowing incense smoke everywhere. That's what y'all want me to do. Y'all want me
no,
wrapped in
no,
cloth,
no, no,
blowing incense smoke everywhere.
no.
That's what y'all
It's
want.
okay.
Well,
It's
it was a great experience.
mm-hmm.
Okay, and just know my DMs are closed. I just want the people to know now the DMs are closed. You had your chance to get in. There are
Mm-hmm.
still some applications in there that I'm looking over and reviewing for my what? Uh-uh. Hold on.
Who is that? Right on time. Right on time. You see, he has a friend, a special friend. And Darcel doesn't know how to act when he's in these type of predicaments. He tends to leave his friends high and dry. So
Not too
he's
much. Not too much on me. Give me 5 seconds.
oh he's learning to acclimate to this. So it's very fun to watch as a friend to see him go through this. It's very pleasant. I'm 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 happy that there's somebody out there that is going to ring his bell. Ding.
Shut your ass up. Shut.
Please, please. I love it.
Not ring my bell.
He-
Ring my bell. My
Come
bell.
on.
Look,
You better. Yes, he does.
what about what I want?
Describe them.
I'd rather not.
I rest my case. Now let's move on.
I'd rather not. Well, now
Oh,
I feel like I have to because you see the people are gonna think that I have abandoned ship.
come on. That's what they call instead of what did Bridget Kelly say on her podcast? She said it's not happy weight, it's distraction weight. What are they distracting you from?
Yeah. And that's what and you know what? And I'll take ownership of that. Well, it's a him.
Mm,
Okay. He's black.
don't look at me like that. This is why we're having the conversation we're about to have. The people like you. Now go ahead. Now go ahead. Not too much.
He's black.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all, if y'all ever meet me, you know I'm a good 5'5" on a good day, but on a regular day, I'm 5'3.5" with a sprinkle of a 5'4" hope. I have a 5'4" hope. And he's 6'1".
He is 6'1".
He is 6'1", and he has locks.
He looks great.
And he is great. He looks and is great.
Yes.
And so, and to all you hoes who are trying to send juju my way, return to sender. Return to sender. Return to. I need to be wearing my evil eye. I need to bring my evil eye.
Where your barrier oil at?
I know Fiery Fortress. Fiery Fortress is available at theinnerlightstore.com. Theinnerlighthouse.store. Go ahead, go over there and pick that up.
Come on.
But in other news, y'all, so we have been gone because of some you know, sometimes life be lifing, y'all. Life be lifing, and life has things happen. Okay, but you know, one of the things that we are really happy is that no matter what be going on, we still find our way to come back together. And so I would like to start off with a hymn. Samaj, please contain yourself.
Why was he breathing on the mic like that?
Samaj, please. Please contain yourself during the hymn. Please.
How sweet the sound, the same, like me. Was lost, but now I see through the meaning and I see. Praise the Lord.
Thank you.
Why was he leaning on the notes like that?
I don't know. I don't know.
He was this close to the. He was.
I have a lot of questions here. My first question is, who is that on the wall? I'm not sure who that is or what that is on the wall.
I'm finding it out now.
Is that anyone? Who is that on that wall?
Does he have words stuck on the wall under the picture?
I think the words are stuck on the wall. I want to start off by saying this was very creative. Everyone's so creative.
I think it's wild to have a microphone and a podium right outside your bathroom door. I think that is.
I think it is wild. I think it's that close to it's wild to have a microphone and to sing as if there is not one there, and to not be aware of the distance the microphone is from your mouth. I also am very intrigued at this portion of the song.
Away, like me.
That part, he had.
Hi.
I was like, he trying to. Was that what he was trying to do?
Please.
We're grateful for him, for the pastor, for Bishop, whatever his name is, for the hymn. Thank you.
No.
You shan't be returning. Okay, you shan't be. Thank you, though. Thank you. Now, y'all, listen, y'all. Kendra said it's the I. That did it for me. I'm kneeled over. It's wild that his set is in the hallway. You know, but the Bible says we're supposed to be blessed in the city, okay, and not outside the door.
Like,
yes.
Why did you need a microphone in the home?
I don't know. You know, this was clearly done on his phone, so I'm sure that there's not that much space. I'm sure the phone could have heard you if you were not on. But you know, the thing of the matter is, we're not gonna judge here. Samaj, in particular, has really been working out on, you know, working.
I was like, working out.
No.
No.
I'm working on judgment. But you know, sometimes we fall short.
Oh, hallelujah. Glory be to God. I don't have that much juice on this phone, and hopefully I can still.
Why do y'all do this? Oh!
Well, y'all, I just fell out the chair. Oh, Jesus.
What is going on?
Boy. Hello. And ain't nobody in here but me. I'm all right, though.
What is going on with y'all?
Lean on me. It was a lean that took her out. This is a lesson here. Sometimes you cannot bend till you break. We fall down, but we get up. One more time for Mother.
Hallelujah. Glory be to God. I don't have that much juice on this phone, and hopefully I can still.
Like, is she okay?
Well, y'all, I just fell out the chair.
Like,
it's her acknowledgement. Well, y'all, I just fell out the chair.
Hello?
Hello? It's just me in here.
Like, girl, you okay?
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, did she hit the cabinet?
Boy. Hello. And ain't nobody in here but me.
That hello is me out. Now she was calling on that Holy Ghost life alert. Absolutely. Somebody, not Timber. Hear that? Darcel's the agent of chaos. Now you know this one. Laugh or you going to hell video. Listen. Ooh. It happens. But learn from this. Right. When you get to the point, some of y'all are right here. Hey, I'm going to preach on this thing, Samaj. Oh my God. Can I teach on this thing? Some of us are right here getting ready to break. You have to know your limits. The Bible says, through the fire, to the limit, to the wall.
And that's what she hit.
And she hit.
It
Well,
was all
y'all,
of
I just
it was all of the loud commotion.
It was a lot of commotion. So learn from this. Learn to readjust yourself at this point. When you start before that, when you start leaning, return to center. When you start leaning, when you start here, catch yourself. Hey, when you start stumbling, okay, catch it and say, "Oh my God, we're coming back to center." Because if you get here, it's too late. If you get here, Shande,
Oh.
it's too late. It's too late. Well, glory be. You know, Samaj, we have to look out for the elderly. You know, we have to make sure that we have the tennis balls at the bottom of the chairs for our seniors who are deciding to get onto the interwebs, you know, especially to teach their Bible studies. And we want to make sure that there are tennis balls at the bottom of it so that they don't slip and fall again.
Why tennis balls? I've never understood that.
Because of the friction.
It stops it from moving?
Yes, they're able to
So-
control it and it doesn't scratch up the.
I was about to say, why not just get the stoppers? I was so confused as to why y'all were cutting open tennis balls. Like as a 10-year-old, I was like, why are you doing this?
You know, I do think that was a kind of out of the box solution.
Like, how did y'all figure that one out?
I don't know. Instead of saying more plastic, you said we're gonna get some tennis balls.
Like,
And I think they're able to have more control over it. And I think that they're able to glide it in a controlled way. I do believe there should be an invention, an addition, if you will, that has that without them needing to do that in particular.
I agree.
So that's that. Y'all, we're going to have a very different show today as we start to recalibrate. One, I need for y'all to find the sister woman that was doing the trivia, black trivia, black trivia. Last time we were on, because I did not get her Cash App to send her prize, and I don't need her outside of my door at the crowbar ready to take my niece out. So please, if you know sister woman, please, and if you are sister woman here that is watching, please drop your Cash App because we did not collect it from you the last time. Okay? So this is going to be a bit of a different show because while we were preparing for this, me and Samaj tend to get in rather heated conversation. We're very passionate on our perspectives on things, and we have very deep conversations, and we have acknowledged that there are some perspectives that we may have that may be problematic. But I think yes, Samaj. So I'm going to let you take ownership of that.
I have nothing to say about it. I don't think they're problematic. I think that y'all just need to get a grip. Y'all want to grip everything else but actual facts. So let's move on to.
And there you have it. So y'all see how this is going to go. So one of the things that we were talking about, I think we can just jump right in on this, y'all. So be here in the comments, be ready to respond. One of the things that we have been discussing is communication. All right, especially when it comes to romantic partners, okay, and or even friendships. Sometimes, and this is something that I have learned recently, y'all. Sometimes we have expectations that are extremely projected, And when individuals don't meet the it's projected and it's reclused.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a projected expectation and they don't know about it.
Mm-hmm.
And we expect people to live up to expectations that they don't even know were there. Now, I think there are reasonable things that, automatically you should know. But there's some things like that we need from partners and friends that they may not always know. However, I think it is Samaj's stance that he doesn't care nothing about that.
No, why you gotta say it? For me, like I said, there's so many nuances to it. First, I'm the type of person that I'm very discerning. I'm very controlled in my environment. And I think because I grew up as the only Black person or one of 5 Black people in my entire grade, people were flocking to me trying to figure out my hair, the way that I spoke, my clothes, my skin, all of those things. So I had to really protect my environment. And in doing so, I had to discern who was really here for this. And because I was performing at the time, as kids, they're like, oh, they dance, they sing, they do this. I had to really protect and discern who was really here for me as a person and not for the information that they could find out about Black people, not for the things that they felt like they could gain because I was performing and because teachers love to ask me to do certain things. And so in that discernment, I'm somebody, like I often use the Giannis quote, like, you get to show me how you love and I get to choose if I want to participate. I feel as though the moment that I meet you, I'm observing. I'm constantly observing. I'm observing how you treat your friends, how you treat my friends, how you treat the waiter, how you treat all of those different things. What are you talking about with them? Are those things that I can get behind? What is your overall attitude and energy? And then I decide whether or not to move forward in that type of relationship. I don't feel the need to tell you what my needs are and hope that you can meet those needs. I see if you're already meeting those needs that I need at that point in time, and then decide if I want to participate.
Yeah, but I get
Yes.
I get that. I get that. I think that that's it, but I feel like one is shallow and one is not. And let me explain what I mean by that.
Don't make me share the meme. don't choke me.
This is what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that yes, if I meet you and you are talking about how you don't like women, you think women are supposed to be inferior to men,
It's
and
a
you
wrap.
have all of these, it's done. You have all of these ideologies that's like crazy. I don't think that's the phase where you need to be communicating anything. I think that the observation is correct. But if the observation is okay, right? If you have observed, you're like, okay, this is pretty cool. You still don't think you need to communicate your needs?
And so then this is where the nuance comes in, because I think there's a difference between needs and expectations.
Okay.
What I need in a relationship is one thing versus what I expect a relationship to look like is a completely different thing. People come in with they live in their own lived experience coming into certain spaces with an expectation that this is supposed to go this way. And when that person does not fulfill that expectation, then they get upset, right? And
Yes.
my thing is, I can do away with an expectation if I know what my needs are. Sometimes we walk into spaces with certain expectations that are not ours. We just think this is how this is supposed to go. And so then it's like, is that truly meeting a need of mine? Is this what's truly like making me happy? Or is this just an expectation that I have of this particular thing? And then if we do away with the expectation, are you okay with that? And then, because a need is just simply an expectation is more so both of us in this experience, right? And a need is what I need you to do in this experience for me.
Okay. Okay.
So we can have, and sometimes we get caught up in the expectation because we're doing something that we feel we would want somebody else to do to us.
Right.
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 And so I think it's fair to say that I'm bringing this to the table and I need you to bring this to the table because I'm doing it. Right.
Okay.
Versus saying this is an expectation of how a marriage should go, how this should go. Right. And that isn't the expectation that they may have wanted, because there's so many.
But that's, and I get that. However, communication is still necessary. You still need to communicate what you expect, though. I think you need to communicate that, and you need to communicate what it is that you need.
Okay.
Same.
Yes, I agree. Now, I think what needs to be communicated at certain points and certain times in this in a relationship or whatever is necessary, right? There are some people that others would look at who are in relationship to me that they feel like I should have a conversation with them about my needs. I do not necessarily feel that way. I
Okay.
feel like everybody is a person. Everybody comes on this earth with their own mission, wants, needs, trauma, and all of that stuff. And y'all can all get dropped accordingly. Now, in that expectation, people feel like, but there's also, like I said before, when we were talking, having this conversation, there are tiers and nuances to it. There are certain people that I feel like I don't have to explain my needs. If you just don't meet them, then it's a wrap. There are certain, when it comes to a relationship, a romantic partnership, I feel like I naturally communicate more in that experience because there's an expectation that we are and we're supposed to be a partnership in this.
Okay.
Whereas a friendship, we are not necessarily that engaged in that. And depending on the level of friendship, because some people think that you're friends with them more than you are, that they're friends with you more than you're friends with them.
Absolutely.
And there's a certain expectation that comes along with that. Because you feel like I'm a closer friend to you, there's a certain expectation you have of me. Whereas I'm not that close to you. So I'm not going to tell you how I'm going to, how I feel about this. I'm just going to drop you. And I think that's a sad reality too, as well, because some people don't even know on what terms they are with people. And so,
yeah. Yes. But, well, then I'm not changing my stance, clarifying my stance here. Expectation to me is an uncommunicated need. Because to me, an expectation, a need or a desire or a perspective, but it is an uncommunicated one, because you have the reason why you would drop someone for not meeting your expectation, especially if you haven't communicated it, it's because you have already predetermined this. And as Kai said, some expectation comes from past relationships and past baggages. But I think what my concern is with this is that we just think that everybody is supposed to know.
But and see, and here's, and I want to say, I want to ask you one thing too.
Okay.
What if I communicated that expectation or that need? Do I then expect you to fulfill that?
Yes.
Okay. So that is an expectation that I have communicated this need, and now I'm expecting this to go in the ways that it's supposed to go.
Sure.
But I also feel like you said something earlier and I can't remember. You just said it too.
Yeah, you can't ask me, Chad.
I know. You just said it too. When you were asked, it literally just left.
When I was saying about well, I don't know.
You don't know. The communicating.
Yeah.
Oh yes, there's an expectation of how this is going to go.
Yes.
Number one, because you're expecting them to know something that they just don't know, right?
Yeah.
I guess, and that's the problem with me. I'm okay with people not, I'm cool with people not knowing. It's just not for me. If you don't know something that I'm expecting, I don't want you there, because I have had friends and all of those, people in my life who have already met those needs without me having to communicate. There was already an expectation, and I realized through communication or through them talking or living the experience that this was their expectation as well. And we continue to move forward for 10 plus, 12 plus years. So I don't want to waste my time communicating with other people or trying to change them or trying to get them to adapt to me when there are people who are already living this experience that I don't have to do that with. I can move on with those people.
But I think that is unreasonable to an extent. I think it is unreasonable to just assume that that everybody that is supposed to be a part of your life fully gets it already, as the others have, because everybody is not your best friends. Everybody is not the people that you have met before. And I feel like it causes, I feel like it's insidious, because then it leads to the person I feel like it leads to the person writing off potentially good relationships because they don't exercise their communication skills. And I think that's I think if it causes the one to fall on their face.
It depends. And I say it depends because I'm somebody that I don't care about a lot. I don't care if people I'm about to break it down because I do care about it. I don't care about a lot in the sense of I don't care if you're late, if you like Legos, anime. I don't care about none of that stuff. To me, what I care about is the ethics, is the morals. Those are the things that I'm checking for. And then because I have friends of all ages, races, sizes, whatever, and I talk to them differently, about different things, and I have specific friendships that serve specific needs. I don't need you to meet all of the needs. I don't need you to know all of the things. I don't need you to, but I do need you to meet me on this is how, even when we talk about friendship and showing up, I don't expect my friends to show up for me. I feel like in those same, this sounds problematic,
but it's you. And it's a perspective. Go ahead.
I don't expect my friends to show up in the ways that you expect your friends to show up. Right.
Okay.
And to me, that is fine. But I'm somebody who through trauma has had to adapt to people. So I'm cool with adapting to people when I know there's an equal balance of ethics and morals and all of that. Right.
Okay.
I'm good, with this sounds so problematic.
But there's different types of people. And that's one thing that you've really taught me in our friendship, which is to
through hell and high water.
Okay, wait. See,
I saw that too.
This how y'all
fell out the chair.
You finna be just like, oh girl. This how y'all come in. I think that the perspective is important because you are not we are not a monolith, but I really think it is wild. It's wild because I think that what you are saying is when it comes to morals and the ethics and the things that matter, right? That whether or not you believe that women should have the ability to have an abortion, it does not equate to you knowing my love language. I have to communicate that.
No, but see, even in that situation, if you don't feel like people should have pro-choice and you feel like you can, even you saying that one line, now I'm thinking, okay, so you don't believe that women should have pro-choice. Okay, so when it comes to a decision, are you going to make that decision for me now? Okay, I don't need this in my space.
Yeah, but what if they do? What if they do? What if the morals line up? but it's not
It's
the
not
same.
lining up when you say something like that. And I don't even want to find
I'm
out.
saying if they do believe that women should have the right, say it
Uh-huh.
lines up, but just
Uh-huh.
because they morally agree, it doesn't mean that they automatically know how to care for you and how to show up for you.
Yes, but I'm sorry, I was reading the comments.
Uh-huh.
I think that is true. But for me, I sift out people before it even gets to that point.
Okay.
Right? All of my friends, including you, Darcel, are people who ask the question, oh, are we, oh, is this good? Is this okay? Or are we, okay, are we did it? But that is because of other conversations that we've had. I was like, okay, he's the type of person that can do this. So
Yeah.
then we can have conversations where we're just explaining our experiences. And because I'm a recorder, now I'm recording what your love language is. Now I'm not even having to ask you. And people, and there are, yes.
No,
I
no,
know.
no, Samaj. No.
Jake, take me. Wait.
No. No. Come back up here.
Ah,
No.
I get it. I understand. I
What do you
know.
mean? So you're assuming you're just gonna be accurate? You're assuming that
Has anybody came to me with a problem?
okay.
And there you have it. And but there are things that even when we talk, like me being late, that's an issue. But that's an issue because we have it's not I'm asking you, I'm just observing you and saying this doesn't work for me. I know that does not work for you. So if we're gonna go somewhere, Samaj has to be on time. Okay, I gotta work. You know what I mean? It's like I don't need
What
to.
if I never said it didn't work for me and I just made the decision that the way that he's late is an indication to me that he doesn't care about my time. He doesn't care about anyone else's time. And this is not someone I need to be. But that would be a false perspective of you.
But I don't think, to me, it's all about what you can live with, right? And what you can stand as well.
Okay.
If you are somebody that says, like Mandy on the other podcast, she said, when you're late, I feel like you don't respect me. Like you say, you don't respect my time and we can no longer be friends, right? If you are that type of person and you feel that type of way about me, I'm cool with that. Find people that are always on time. Is that your deal breaker? Is that something that you require from people? Because there are things that I would prefer, and then there are things that I require.
But Samaj, that to me that's reckless. You run the risk of losing. Yes, you run the risk of missing out information because you are taking the information you got that you have uncovered from yourself, from your own vantage point, which is limited, and running with it.
Darcel, I think too, I'm constantly observing and constantly recording. And so I think there's a point where it's like, I know you, Darcel, right? I know you.
Yeah.
So there are certain things that I know, even if you disappoint me or hurt me or whatever, that was not your intention and that we could have a conversation. Right. And I know those things based on previous conversations, based on the ways that I've observed you in that way. And so there's no reason for me to be like, oh, Darcel or whatever. But what I'm saying is there are things that I observe from people that I know that they don't give me the space, right? To even be able to say or communicate those things, right? And so what I think I'm talking, like, I guess for me, it's giving that space to even become that, because some people communicate their needs to people who I feel like we should all know they aren't even capable of meeting that need, or they aren't even capable of hearing you out. They're going to be defensive. They're going to be all of those things. And you are communicating. And for me, and this is the conversation I had with my mom, where my mom said, I want to tell them how I feel, and then I'm good, right? no matter how they react. I'm the type of person that if I have the intention of telling you something, it is with the intention that you will hear me out. If I know that you are not that type of person, or you're not capable of meeting my need, or you're not capable of hearing me out, I'm not going to tell you at all. I'm going to give you space, and I'm going to give me space.
Okay.
And so before it even comes to that conversation of what our needs are, I'm already assuming that this is the type of person that's going to hear me or listen to me or observe me and be like, okay, this is something. And you do it as well, Darcel.
I'm not saying, what do you mean? I do that. But I also learned that was dead ass wrong. I learned that last week.
And who taught you?
And I'm unsure of the source now, because you're saying it's something completely different.
No. I think like we talked about last. Yeah.
Well, I get that. I get it. But I just know that there's been so many times that the old folks say, assuming will make an ass out of you and out of me. And if you don't feel as though it is, it is worth it, if the person is worth it, if this is worth it, then by all means, do it as you do. But I just feel like you cannot operate like that the whole time. You just can't just show up like that. For me, I just don't think so.
There's nuance in that, because even in I always say I'm not going to assume or move forward in bashing you or doing whatever, especially without the full information. Yes. And if I have come to you and talked to you about something, or I've observed you and you're not giving me the information that I need to make a correct assessment, then I'm just going to give you space, right? I'm not going to communicate my needs, because I've already observed how well you share information, how well we do all these. And so then when you ask somebody and they don't give you that information, people assume because they're not giving information that it's because of X, Y, and Z, instead of just saying, I don't have all the information and I'm just going to step away from this relationship until you're able to give that information.
Samaj.
I know.
Samaj is problematic, y'all. That was a problematic ass statement. Samaj. You literally just said you're gonna do like this is so. You know what, this is where we're at. This is where we're at. This is where we're at. I know that for me, this is how I am. I come out of the gate communicating. I don't wait and see. I don't observe over time. I come out the gate. In the first conversation, you do. Old dude, last night I said, "Hi, how are you doing? Good? Yeah, okay. Order the drink. Good." So, why did your last relationship end?
Right.
What was that about? I come through asking the questions because I want to get clear on it, because I know that I only have my perspective. And my perspective is limited to what I see at that current time.
And I understand that.
Don't be right. You don't fully be right all the time.
But here's the thing. I'd rather be wrong and not have somebody in my life than to be wrong and have somebody that's problematic in my life. Number one.
No, Samaj, I can't.
I would. I would
let you make it with that.
I would. Now, I'm not. Wait, now hold on.
Good. Help! Somebody come to Samaj, please.
At the start of the whatever it is, friendship, relationship, whatever. Like you said, I do believe in asking questions and finding out about this person, right?
Yes.
But to me, it's constantly figuring out if this person is like it's never not ending. Right. So if at the start of meeting somebody, they were to say something crazy, that would be the end. Like there would be no discussion. There would be no whatever. And then the second day we have conversations, you say something crazy, that would be the end. So it's a constant assessment, number one. Sure. And then number two, I think there's a difference between if we just met versus I've known you for a moment, because when I've known you for a moment, you've passed all of these tests, right? and not to say that I'm testing you, but like we've had conversation and you're passing all of these things. So you're increasing that space where we could communicate in that way. And then based on the type of relationship, is this a friendship or romantic relationship? Now there comes along that certain expectation that I have. And if you don't meet that, then that's cool, right?
Yeah.
But I'm not.
I do get that. I don't think that's what it is at all. What I think it is a fear of rejection. And I think the girls are trying to cope it and hide underneath that. Because if you have to come out expressing your needs and them not being met or them not being able to do it, then that's rejection. And I don't think the children want to put themselves in that quote unquote vulnerable space first. And so it is easier to not say anything and to sit back and watch. And then when they fuck up, to vanish. It's easier. But I don't think that is efficient. I don't think it's efficient. So when you come out the gate with it, not all the time, they'll be problematic. They will know where you stand. Period. Right then. We don't have no confusion.
Wait. I'm sorry, I can't.
I'm with Darcel. When you come out the gate with it, not all the time, they will be
right.
They will know where you stand. Well, I just think it gets cleared up rather quickly because you waste your time. And I think you may waste your time sitting back and watching. I think you run the risk of wasting your time then versus communicating. Are you interested in this? Can you do this? Is this
agree.
Huh?
I agree. I don't know. It's just it's like a balance for me because every person that I've met that I chose to be friends with never had a problem, never had a fight, never had anything. People that people have brought to me, people that have introduced me through those things.
I get it.
That didn't work out. For me, I'm asking you questions, but I'm giving you scenarios. And what I like to do and what
you are running tests. You tried to sit up here and say before you're not testing. You are definitely running tests.
Well, you know what my therapist said, my therapist said what you do is you give people scenarios that are aligned with the scenario that you have with them just to see how they react to that, because that then inclines that they will act that same way in this relationship, right? And he said it's an assessment that you did out of trauma. So you're testing people to see how they feel about these topics before you actually have a conversation with them. Now that, yes, out of trauma. But I also enjoy that because I get your honest opinion about it when it's not dealing with us also as well. And that's another method as well. Like if me and you are talking about racism or whatever, and I give you a racist scene from a movie and I'm talking to you about it, now I get to see your reaction about this. And now I'm getting a much more honest or truer version of something because it's not dealing with us personally. I'm not giving you my personal story. And then because of that, now it gets a little fishy. It gets a little weird because there's so many like nuances and experiences where it's like, if you gave me a scenario, I could tell you how I would react to them, but it's like different people, different relationships.
J Mac just said something interesting. I personally like to watch how people move first. I feel if you let people know all of your expectations, they'll start to become what you want instead of being themselves. I can see how that happens, but they can't hold up that facade for long.
But they can't. But you've wasted my time. When I could have been with somebody who honestly was just doing this.
I don't know. I think that it's very. I hear it. And Jay, I understand that. I understand how motherfuckers morph and all this shit and do all that type of stuff. Well, then perhaps you need to ask why you keep attracting honest people. Okay, so let's move. Perhaps Perhaps that's what we need to figure out. Why you keep
How many times have you articulated your needs and they weren't met?
Okay, we jump into this next thing.
Okay.
Elderly Florida woman killed while protecting her dog from an alligator.
I have nothing to say. This is stupid.
Let's watch the clip. Shall we watch the clip?
There's not a clip.
There's a clip. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Can you see this? Is this glitching for you?
Yes,
Wait a
it is
minute.
glitching.
The devil is busy. Hold up. I
got you.
tried to play the clip. I guess can't play the clip. I'm going to read. Okay, listen to this. An elderly woman was killed by an alligator while protecting her dog. Good God Almighty. Hold on. Let's look at this alligator, please. While protecting her dog at a retirement community in Florida. There you go. Gloria Surge, 85, was walking her dog on Monday when the alligator attacked it. Surge was killed while attempting to save her beloved pet from the massive reptile, but her dog survived. Surge's neighbor told WPBF that she saw the alligator bite down on her leg and pull her into the water. Good God. I saw my neighbor down and being bitten on the leg by an alligator and pulled into the water. I just remember her coming up and pushing her hair out of her face and getting air. And I'm saying, swim toward the paddle boats.
Hey, girl, save yourself. Try and get away, girl. Get a life jacket, girl. Save yourself, girl. Run faster than the dog. Okay, try, because that's all I'm gonna say. Try, girl. At that point, you have done all you could do.
Swim toward the paddle boats, man. She says, I can't. Then she says, I can't.
You're so sick. You're so
She
sick.
says, I can't. The gator got me.
And she did, because and you done. And where's the dog?
She explained to the now. That's what we need to know. The neighbor went on to say that she ran to her garage to get something to hit the gator with, but Serge had already left when she returned to the water. She was gone.
Wait, the dog was gone?
No, the woman was gone, girl. She said when she came back out with her shovel to hit it,
Gotcha.
the woman was gone.
Oh,
But now, again, there is nothing in here about the dog actually getting killed.
and that's what I'm saying. The dog was like, girl,
The dog
thank
said,
you. Thank you. Not,
listen, this time man was a dog's best friend. Because I want y'all to know this and hear me. I want to get close. It's not worth
oh
it.
God. It's not.
It's not worth it. If an alligator flew out there, Cuddles is gone. Cuddles is gone. Like that, you don't have time to be trying to save no dog. When them alligators is out there like that, don't you know that there's alligators over there, girl?
But that's what, like, my family's from Florida, and everybody knows to get a pan, a bat, or whatever, and you hit the crocodile on the nose. That's what you do. So I don't know what she was thinking.
Old. She's probably, how old was she though? They said she.
So
was
shouldn't you have more experience?
She was, well, she did, but she didn't have the strength. I didn't know.
So she unfairly judged herself. She overestimated her strength.
She's 85 years old. She's just walking her dog. But you know, sometimes the alligators just be wandering out there.
Yes, and they do.
But speaking about things that just be wandering out there, eco-friendly mom says she's ditched toilet paper in her home and uses a family cloth.
That's not eco-friendly.
Excuse me, that's E. coli friendly.
That is, how often does she wash it?
Let's
No,
get
she
the
doesn't.
story.
How do you
I
do
think
that?
that this is crazy. This is literally nuts to me. This is nuts. I understand sometimes. Let me pull it up because I need to know where Sister Woman lives.
I'm trying to figure out like what how long is the cloth? Are you folding it? I'm how much do you wait, how much doo-doo is left on your butt? What how I need to know the parameters of this.
She says, "Oh, there's a video. Let's. Oh, good God Almighty, y'all. Let's look. We're gonna watch the footage. Here we go. Because this to me is nuts. Samaj, could you pull the graphic down?
Yes.
Oh, let me see.
Oh my god, why is it not? Thank you.
I don't know who came up with the term family cloth, but it is an unfortunate name for cloth toilet paper. Let me show you the setup
Can you hear that?
Yes.
in my home to hopefully help remove some of the ick factor. This is the toilet in our upstairs bathroom, primarily used by my husband and I. This is a basket of clean wipes, mostly flannel cut from old Christmas pajamas. When I use the bathroom, I let the bidet do all the heavy lifting,
Okay.
pat dry with a clean wipe, and then put the used wipe in this bin, which will eventually go into the laundry. No wipe is ever used for multiple bathroom sessions without being laundered. That would be disgusting. I personally love cloth toilet paper because it's sturdier and softer on my bum. But my husband is not a fan. So we also keep regular toilet paper. In conclusion, this snake plant has survived despite months of neglect.
What? Wait. Now,
This is what I have a lot of concerns here. First of
my
all, flannel.
child,
Second of all, I don't believe that toilet paper is causing such. Is this really destroying the ecosystem like this? That we need to be cutting cloth and then wait a minute, do people wipe their butts? Then she says she let the bidet do the work and she pats it dry.
but that's my thing. If you, why couldn't you just use the toilet tissue? If you were just gonna pat dry, why'd you need to wash and do all this extra work?
And how nasty is that?
How long y'all letting that bin sit there?
And is this what everyone's doing? Maybe
Obviously, the
everybody don't like.
the husband got sense.
Yeah, because I'm like, maybe not everybody wants to blast water in their anus. Maybe not.
That's how
I'm just saying,
homophobic. Now, moving
maybe
on.
not. I'm just saying for the people. I'm just saying they may not want to blast themselves up like that.
But I don't want to go to nobody's house that's pat drying with cloth either.
Thank you. And then you are washing it.
And with what? With your clothes? And this is why I just can't, like,
I don't understand. I think it's ridiculous. You know, would the people be cheapskates though? Because I was watching Extreme Cheapskates, and you know, Ivan, this woman was making lasagna. Remember, I told you she was
yes.
making lasagna in the dishwasher.
She wasn't making lasagna.
Okay.
She was making noodles and water.
Okay, here she wait, pause. Is it bougie that I would prefer a filtered blast if I was to have a bidet? No, it's not bougie. We cannot have all of that hard water in the womb, girl. We can't have all the hard water in next to the poom poom. Okay, we can't have it, honey, with all the minerals and metals and shit. I mean, that we need filter. I don't understand that the smell coming from those cloths is all packed in there. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
But they don't
And
mind smells.
who's they, Samaj?
White people.
Uh-uh.
I'm gonna say it again. White people do not
You're not gonna
mind.
you're not gonna mess up my sponsorship.
I'm sorry. I just feel like if you're not bathing, you're not moisturizing, you're not washing your hair, you're I was about to say washing lasagna in the dishwasher. You're doing all of those things. You don't care about smells. You don't care about cleanliness. They don't care. They don't care about how their feet look. They don't care. So it's like I don't know what like.
Not they don't care about how their feet look.
They don't.
Well, you're not wrong about that.
But how do you want a bidet, but then want a pet dry with claw? Something's not adding up here.
She said it's softer on her bum. It's softer on my bum. Is it though?
That's what I'm saying. Is it?
I'm in flannel. I don't want to. That's the fool. That's the fool. But I want to jump over here for a second because this. I just wait. I'm gonna throw some shots real quick. New study reveals shorter people may live longer. Thank you. That is all. That is all. So to all you raggedy headed hoes that has been trying to oppress me my entire life, who has been talking about my height, to all of those individuals, to all of you cloud breathers, okay, to all of you laffy taffy backed.
And you said I was bad.
Don't worry about it. I got it. I got it. To all you laffy taffy backed, to all of you spandex necks having people who think because you're long bodied that you have some type of power in this world, I will have you know that the scientists, the statistics show that shorter people live longer. Okay? So while I may not be able to reach the top shelf, I will be able to reach the podium for your eulogy. While I may not be able to reach the top shelf,
oh my God,
I will be able to lower the mic for your eulogy. That's all I have to say. That's all I have to say. I just need to bust them up real quick. Cheesy butt long back. Listen, like I said, spandex necks.
Why?
I had to tear them up like that because I did. Because so long the short person has been oppressed. For so long, I have had women literally talk to me in my face and say, a short guy would never, ever, ever have a chance with me. I'm sitting here like as a bisexual man, like, oh, well, goddamn, bitch. Like, oh, a short guy could never. I don't want a backpack.
What?
Cuddling. They said they made jokes and say that cuddling with a short guy is like you sleeping with a backpack. You never heard that?
I've never had this conversation with my friends about short guys.
You wasn't coming. Well, the people say these things.
I've never heard that.
Yeah,
that is wild.
Well, you haven't heard that because you being short will work in your advantage. Thank you. Me being short doesn't work in my advantage. Not in my life, but you know, and that's body shaming too. So let me tear y'all up about that. It's body shaming. You think that, and then the other thing.
I thought you were talking about me. I said what? I said what?
No, not you. It's body shaming. Y'all keep talking about short people, but it's a funny thing. Everyone makes it funny, but it's real disrespectful for somebody to be standing in your face and be talking like, I mean, and I've had people do that. And I'm like, goddamn, bitch, I'm not tall. And then when the top,
I'm screaming.
and you're right. So go
I'm
for
screaming.
those, please. So you could get you a check at any of your days.
Dyson,
They
you
do
about to get
that.
a check too.
Huh?
You about to get a check too.
And I will. But darling, according to the job description, I won't need it. Okay. Okay. Let's move on here.
I'm screaming.
Let's move on here. Not they just being smart. Okay, I found this video hilarious, but we are going to talk about this.
Like, I am a modest female. Like, I am so modest, and I'm such a modest female, and a lot of these females is not.
My thing is, say I'm a jump drive, and if I'm a jump drive that can go to many different computers, it's the master jump drive. If your computer is accepting multiple jump drives, it's a faulty computer. Throw the computer away.
I understand why y'all would want to go get a 14-year-old in Guatemala for your wife, because the women in America act like they so much better than y'all.
Mish mish. If only there was like a black woman who shared my point of view and would listen to everything I say in my proximity that I could be with. So anyway, trauma is why I act the way that I act, blah, blah, blah. Y'all need to heal. And that's why I only like 11-year-olds, bro, because if you've lived long enough to experience negative experiences.
All people like, oh, you would pick me. Like, first of all, I'm picked by Jesus. So y'all don't need, no, for real. I'm picked by Jesus, and I can't be everybody's wife. So it's just, that's why I'm single, because I can't be everybody's wife.
Okay, I keep telling you, you're a real one. You say a man killed you, but why were you alive around a man to begin?
Yeah, bro. That's
He couldn't kill you if you weren't alive. Stop being alive. I don't know what to tell you.
That's it right there. That's it. That's it. That's it.
So, first of all, I'm hollering.
I love her. FAMU graduate, period.
Second of all, this highlights the conversation on black male podcasters and the surgence in recent years of the misogynistic male podcast. What's your perspective on that, Samaj? How do you feel about them? Hey,
Amazon
Queen.
should stop selling mics so freely.
Okay, what'd you say?
Said Amazon should stop selling mics so freely.
Right.
Leave the mics to the professionals. If you can't set up a sound system, lighting, and background with your mic, you shouldn't have it.
Okay.
One.
Yes. So that's the start. So let's begin there. I find myself, I be split. Everything about me split. I be split. In one regard, this is terrible. Strike down the podcast. In the other regard, we finally have the men talking. Now.
No.
Yes. Yeah. Hush. Wait.
No.
Wait. Now, what they are saying is trash.
So shut up.
But the willingness for them to say and communicate their needs, we know whether or not we can deal with them. You see how it came full circle?
No, the reason they feel the confidence the reason they feel so confident in sharing this bullshit is because nobody holds them accountable. That's why.
Yes.
No,
absolutely.
You should have kept that somewhere else.
No, absolutely. No one holds them accountable, but there are plenty of sister women who get on there, and that's the other thing. That's what was having me on fire with Kevin Samuels. I'm like, it is nuts to me that the majority of your viewership is women and that y'all keep calling in. Why do y'all keep going up to these men's podcasts? Why?
But can we talk about, you said there's a rise in men voicing, like them speaking.
Yes.
But when we look at the viewership and the audience, it's never men. So meanwhile, men are speaking, but no men are listening to anybody. So
I'm not fighting you on that. I'm not fighting you on that. But I feel like from a zoomed out perspective, I think that there can be something greater here, because I think it is important that the things are expressed. But I have an unpopular opinion on freedom of speech, because even when in the Obama era, when people were making all the racist art, I thought that they should be able to make that. And there are people who vehemently disagree with me because they said, what? This is horrible. This is racist. I thought, no, I'll take it. I'll take it. Don't worry about it. You can fall out. I vehemently agree that they should be able to make all of that. They had them as monkeys hanging from trees. And I think they should make all of that.
Darcel.
What?
Go
This is
ahead.
the point, Chris. The men do be in the comments, women, so they do be listening a little bit. But I think they should make all of that. And the reason why is because by them making that art, it challenged the other artists to make art.
Mhm.
It caused a stirring and a shift. It caused a conversation. It caused an exposing of these thoughts, so that the people can get a better understanding of what the people are about. And to understand that, I think that we
you're looking at
underestimate.
this.
You said what now?
I think you're looking at this very optimistically.
Well, it is because, you are not an advocate for any type of man at all. So I understand.
I think, well, go ahead. Go ahead.
I am an advocate, and I think that and also I am one who uses my platform to clear them. I use my platform to clear them.
You do.
I just did a deconstructing Christianity and transcending Christianity video where I called out the fact that it was the Israelites or colonizers, honey, and it was the patriarchy that destroyed the mother goddess, and that's the reason why everything's collapsing. I tear them up, but I think it is they're at a significant disadvantage, and we finna windmill on this. I know we're gonna windmill on this. They're at a significant disadvantage, Samaj, because we have to understand when it comes to it's one thing for people to just have thoughts processing within inside their head. It's another thing to have the space to speak it out loud and receive feedback on that. And it is because of the speaking out loud and the feedback you receive on it, i.e., writing an answer and having it corrected, or saying it's right or it's incorrect, right? That's how you grow. And yes, the men be very much so trash. Yes, their perspectives be trash, but you know how I am. Before they was these misogynistic men, they were abused boys. And you are hearing these perspectives that have developed from the abused and traumatized boy. And so I feel that it is necessary. I think it's necessary. I am, however, more concerned as some of the women that get on there being like, oh my God, yes, like me, like I'm like what she was just saying. That concerns me.
And that's thank you.
Right, that's idealistic, but not reality. That would be ideal if exposure was equal, but the oppressors are given an elevated platform while voices of the freedom fighters are suppressed. And I don't disagree with that. However, even though it may feel idealistic, yet and still, I know that the Black boy has never had a voice. And because the Black boy has never had a voice, the Black boy aged and you are seeing traumatized Black boys who believe that they are in a supremacy because of they're trying to be adjacent to whiteness and next to whiteness. But I think at the core, this is abused, traumatized Black boys who never got a chance to speak, and now they are, and it's crazy.
I would like to say that because of that, because boys are not often given that room to speak, I put my focus on the boys, because a lot of times these men, you're saying that because you're somebody that wants to hear feedback on your opinion and wants to grow. These men don't. How many men did you know that has a platform with the mic has truly grown from their old responses? Because all of them are still saying problematic things. Now, number two, I just feel like I'm going to focus on the boys so that they don't become those people. Meanwhile, men were the people that created a system of patriarchy, and they often don't realize how it affects them. So you created a system like this that oppressed your own voice. And then now we're supposed to be like, when you say something crazy, I'm supposed to be like, what? I just don't.
No, and I'm not going to disagree with you. I absolutely. My whole focus has been on the boy, but no one else's focus has been on the boy, because they don't realize that the man is the evidence of the boy.
And this, I think this is a conversation we had before, is where is the line of fixing? Because I think we should put more energy into boys and having them be emotionally articulate, having them express their feelings and be able to have space and room for vulnerability.
Yes.
But as a grown man, I don't have that same space for you. I don't have that same, like, I have that space for you if you want to be vulnerable, if you want to explain your experience. But when you're going up there talking and sharing opinions on what women should be and how men should act and you should do this and da, 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 I don't have that space for you to even try to convince you otherwise. I think the man is the evidence of the boy, but the man also has to be in a space where he's open to perspective and change. And a lot of these people are getting up there because they want to share whatever their idealism is of, I don't know.
Absolutely. Even if you look at people who are drug addicts, there's nothing you can do to cause them to forcibly shift them into the healing and into the growth. It does have to be a decision that they make. But again, even them, as Queen Poe said, they don't need a platform, they need therapy.
Absolutely.
But where's the accountability gonna come from?
It's not coming from the platform.
Absolutely it is, because it is the time that they are actually voicing it and getting the feedback. And it also takes men who are Black men who are willing to get up here and say what needs to be said and to critique.
What good is the critique if you're not going to take it? Where is the accountability though?
But that's what I'm trying to say. This is yes, there's a lot of them that are literally like brick walls you can't get through, but the perspectives have never been challenged. Their perspectives has never been challenged. So if your perspective has never been challenged, then you don't even have the understanding that there is something incorrect about your thought pattern. You don't have that understanding. And every fight's not everybody's fight. That's not the work for everybody to do. But I hold them accountable. I windmill them. But even in therapy sessions, I need to know what you think.
Right. I feel like in therapy, that is the space where you should share that. I don't want you to get up on a mic freely and tell me how you feel about your woman. I don't.
But most of the therapy happens in public. Most of the calling out and the alerting that there is a problem happens in public. Because it's not going to happen in their personal lives. It's not.
Can we post this? She is stupid. I'm dead.
Academic views, they don't give a damn about the criticism.
They do not.
I hear you.
They're feeding it's feeding their ego that somebody is even paying attention to them. I don't think they really even care about, because I feel like there's a lot of stuff that's going on deeper too. Now I'm trying to make you upset because I'm upset, or I'm trying to get a reaction out of you. And that's what I was thinking about Kevin Samuels as well. What accountability did he truly have? Like, when was he ever held to the fire or felt the wrongs of his action? You know, it's not.
Yeah,
and I don't.
But even then, we're looking at these individuals and saying those individuals did not change. The fact that they are voicing the perspectives, and even the men that are watching and engaging in the comments and seeing these things, it is, I cannot take up the perspective that it's that these men or men period is a lost cause. I can't take up that perspective.
I don't think they're a lost cause. Well,
right.
I think I think that
But
I don't.
It's not.
They're
just
not gonna listen to my gas.
I know, but it's not. It's not just for the podcasters to change individually. It is them with the expression of these ideas and these ignorance that act as an agent of change, even for people who are watching, not just the individual podcasters.
I think them even having a
because the conversations are stirred. That was my same perspective on the artist.
Mm-hmm.
The conversation is stirred up.
I think, yes, the conversation is stirred up, but now you've given a platform to people, or you've given acceptance of their art for them to now motivate or like Donald Trump, give an okay to people that may do harm or may feel this way or may carry this stuff out. Because now, as a Black man, you're watching this thinking that this is something that you can do and that women will eat it up. And so now you can advocate that in your everyday life. And I don't think that that is something that we should necessarily be advocating for, because now, even with those posters, now you have given the freedom, like in my 5th grade class, you've given the white kids a freedom to draw nooses of Barack Obama in front of me. And I don't agree with any of that. Like,
absolutely. And I do think that there's harm in that. So is it better that the ideas are expressed covertly, or the ideas are expressed in a way where it's not out loud, or is it better that it's expressed in action?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I'd rather know. You know me. You know how I feel about the Fats Femmes and all this. I'd rather know. I'd rather you tell me up front. What you mean?
How would you know?
Well, that's the thing. I don't necessarily want
they
you
will have to say it, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Right.
I think that both are true. Yes, I think that they should say it. Do I think they should say it on a huge platform to everybody and give everybody an allegiance to say something? No, not all. Because at the same time, where you're giving somebody the power to speak up and say this and bring awareness to me so that I don't deal with you. Now you're giving ideas to people who have never thought of this idea before. And now they feel like it's okay to start doing something because of this. So it's like,
but as well,
I don't know,
as individuals who have things highlighted for them, working as in school for therapy, a lot of the reasons why people respond and act how they do is because they don't even have an awareness that what it is that they have been taught, what they've been thinking is incorrect. They've never had it challenged. They've never had the thought challenged. So while we do love healthy men, who are striving towards healing, it has to be exposed first. It has to be exposed.
But who is challenging them? Us? Like, who is really challenging? I don't think
like that.
Because I guess for me, the thing is I want you to be a great person to all individuals. And if you're not
Yes.
open to changing that, if you're not doing that and you're just speaking about how people feel and people are eating it up, I don't
Right.
think you should be having a platform to do anything. I
Right.
don't like, if you have no intention to change this, if your intention was to create Obama as a monkey and move forward, no matter how much I tell you that institutional racism is crazy, I don't
Yeah.
think you should be doing that. Like, I just, uh,
I,
eh.
I
But if
understand.
you're going to do it, and if you're going to stand 10 toes down, then I'd rather you just say it.
Which is what they're doing.
Yes. But I don't think they should be saying it on a platform to million.
So, like I said,
I don't.
I said what I said, and we all said what we said. I simply feel that there is a greater conversation in the midst of this. I am not a man who uses my platform to bash women. In fact, I am a man who uses my platform to frantically protect women against the misogyny of the men. Okay? And that being said, I know my experience as a bisexual Black man who was around, who was straight passing, and who was around these types of men. And many of the people who critique these men have not had the inner knowing and the inner experience that I have been privy to. They have had the adverse effects of that thinking. But I know how those thoughts originate. And because I've been in those spaces and I've had those conversations. And I've been sitting there like, wow, while someone who is a woman and or someone who may be feminine and presenting as a man, there's certain conversations that you would not be welcome into.
Absolutely.
So I've heard those conversations, and from what I heard, I see the genesis of this. I see the beginning of this. It's just like Fences, right? With Troy and Rose. Okay? Just like in Fences, it's so easy to get upset at Troy and write Troy off because you done brought home this woman, this baby, and you done cheated on her for after 17 years or so. And how could you do this, that, and the third, and negate his whole freaking monologue about how when he was 12 years, first of all, his mama ran off and left him. Let's start there. His father, when he was getting ready to have sex with this girl, he was like 13 years old. No, I think it was like 14 years old. How his father came in and started beating him. And he thought he was beating him to punish him and get him off of for what he did, but he was beating him so that he could have sex with the 14-year-old girl. And so it is easier to look at the fact that Troy disrespected Rose in that marriage, but I find that it is shallow because the real reason why, because she said, after 17 years, Troy, you did this. For his whole life, he never ever thought that anybody loved him or would stay there for him his entire life. And so people who don't do the work, I guess, who don't work and specialize in that, don't think that matters. At the end of the day, what you call this, the marriage bed was broke up. Okay, the baby was brought back, the disrespect for what it was. But again, I've been privy to these conversations, and I think that you do not heal a thing by treating the symptoms. But you cannot treat the illness if you don't care to look at the illness.
Yes. But I guess my position is, what do I do with that? So let's say I walk into a room and that is his experience and he's treating me this way. What am I supposed to do if I was Viola's character Am I supposed to leave? Am I supposed to combat your thinking while you're windmilling me? Am I supposed what am I supposed to do in that? Because for me, I'm focusing now on a boy who I don't want to end up like that. My focus is no longer on you and trying to windmill you. I think so many of us, and I think people who don't have kids yet, we're stuck in this thing, especially with men, where it's like, I didn't raise no crazy, I'm trying my best to give people like me, I'm giving everybody room, space, no matter what, to speak and to be vulnerable. So what do I do with that? So I'm just supposed to give you space to tell me this, even though this was your experience? Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to move in that.
Well, I think it comes back to what we've said before. You get to choose whether or not you participate or not. And you may not be the person to do that. She did not have to take that baby. Rose did not have to take the baby. Rose could have said, you could take you and this baby. Can get on out
absolutely.
Of here. But yet, and still Rose decided
mm-hmm.
that she was going to take the baby and take care of the baby and then tell the man that you would choose a woman, this man. And that's just it. You have a choice whether or not you're going to participate. And I don't think anybody should endure a treatment. But my thing is that yet and still, you may not need to do that. You may not be the person, just like Rose. Rose was not the freaking person that was going to change Troy. You may not be that person. It doesn't have to be you. But what I'm talking about is we got to understand, how do we address this in the world? How do we address this in our communities? How do we see this in the uncles and the this and all of that? And I have a personal anecdote with my dad where I saw how literally traumas that he did not choose, how that morphed him even in his latter years. And you would look at the end result and make a determination on who he is at his core. And it's just untrue. It's just untrue.
But
so,
I think
that, well, if you don't feel called to do anything about it, then perhaps there's nothing that you can do. But for me, I call it out. I call it out. And I am willing to be that person. It's the same way that you have activists who are on the front lines. And some people like, what am I supposed to do? Well, the trans women knew what to do because it was those were the girls that were out there windmilling. That may not be your thing. Your thing.
But I think we can windmill them. But you're saying that I'm supposed to look at the context of the situation, and then am I not supposed to windmill them, or am I supposed to accept, I guess, because my thing is, you could have been crazy and killed my brother. Like I said, you still killed my brother. So then at what point am I supposed to isn't this the question I asked you, Darcel?
I'm talking about Vince. She's asking about I think they're asking about the characters.
Got you. I was about to say, because I was like, yeah, in Fences, in the play, in the movie.
Yeah, it's in the movie Fences. Yes. Yeah. Well, what I'm saying is, no, you make your decision as to what you do.
No, but I'm saying, what is somebody supposed, like, I guess, what are you expecting from people to do when they hear that, like Kevin Simmons or whatever? What are we supposed to do in that interaction with him? Are we supposed, because he may have had that experience. Okay, so am I still not supposed to call him out for being crazy? Am I supposed to give him space?
You absolutely are. No, you're supposed to call them out. You're supposed to address it. You're not supposed to let it ride. But I do think, though, there is another deeper understanding that doesn't require you to have to, maybe you not have to do anything completely different, but I think that the understanding is not there. I think that
of why they do what they do.
Yes.
And yeah, I understand. I don't care for any of them, but I understand. And I think too, like patriarchy has put us in a weird position as well to be like, I'm supposed to follow the system that you created and also tell you that this is wrong. Like I'm like, I guess you don't get to create a system to not have emotion, and then I'm supposed to then let you uphold the system and then tell you and then give you the space for emotion. Like I'm trying to find the logic, I guess, in because for me it's like I'm just focused on the kids at this point to make sure they don't end up like that. I don't care about none of them grown men. I don't deal with none of them.
Right.
So
Right.
I'd be like, I don't know.
I just feel that no, I'm not putting on a cape here and trying to save a 47-year-old man. However, I'm also not going to discard the 47-year-old man because I know why he became how it is that he has become. And I use him as I said earlier, as the evidence for why I need to speak to the boys. And
So what is that space?
She said the Black Panthers, Nation of Islam, 5%, Steve Perry, many organization people have been focused on saving the boys for decades, but they're focused on saving the boys from a patriarchal lens.
Yes.
Because that don't have nothing to do with the queer children.
Absolutely. But my thing is, where's that space of not discarding, but then like, what is that even? Because I guess
I think it's the willingness.
What do you feel like?
And say it.
And I think so many people are, but it's like, what do you feel like they're not doing? I guess, or what are? I guess it's just the understanding of knowing where they, I guess,
Well, I
from.
want to go up to Kendra's point. The gag is their perspectives are backed up by their environment, the music, the movies, and the show. I feel like they were consistently being proven right by their aunties, mothers, sisters, and peers. And so it is, I think, the responsibility of all of us to adjust accordingly.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is that we're not standing for this. The friends, if you are a Black man in a circle of Black men and you know that they be on some BS, it's your responsibility to not go along with that. It's your responsibility to say what needs to be said. In the same way, as again, the aunties, the mothers, sisters, peers, everybody, it's everyone's responsibility, I feel.
But you know what I find crazy, because I think somebody, Marion's brother or somebody said, like, Black women are more apt to speak up about it, whereas Black men who don't feel those same ways about other Black men just remain quiet and go in there and build their version of a family, go in their home. He said most guys don't see the good guys. They're at home with their families, their things, and then it becomes Black women only the ones speaking up against Black men. And then it becomes, then Black men don't trust that because it's only coming from Black women. It's not coming from people that look like them. And then it creates this whole society. Yeah. So I'm like, I understand. I understand where it come from. I feel
that the whole world, including Black liberation, is patriarchal. We always focus on boys and men first. Everything in the Black community has been save the boys, but they haven't been saving the boys.
Right. It's not in those same ways. Like, but I think that what it is the saving of, like, I think instead of like guys and girls, it's masculine and femininity. We don't save femininity. We don't hold space for vulnerability, for all of for emotions and all of those things in men and women. And so it has become save the boys, but it's been more so save masculinity.
Save the masculinity.
Save patriarchy.
Which is why everyone who feels that they benefit, including the music, the movies, the aunties, the mothers, the sisters, right, everyone who benefits from that, who likes for their men to be detached and unemotional, that is fine.
And this was the thing I had about with my mom, where it was like, are you, when it comes to, oh God, how does she say it? I can't think of it right now. It just
Mhm.
left my mind. But yeah, the divine feminine has been abandoned. I think it's just not allowing that space for everyone to be in that, and then you're
Period.
expected to. Oh, that's what it was. How can you truly expect somebody? I forgot the word that it was, but can you truly expect somebody to want to get rid of something that they benefit from?
Right.
And would people speak up for something that they also benefit from?
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the hard part of moving forward, is because now you're trying to grasp people along the way who also benefit from this. I don't expect, white people, and that's the thing too. I don't expect for white people to speak up about Black causes because they benefit from this society. Like there's no, it gets really.
It does. And the divine feminine being abandoned is literally the core of my whole my whole platform. And by the abandoning of that, if you were actually to accept the divine feminine and understand what that energy is, you understand that at the crux of that is wisdom.
Mhm.
And wisdom lets you know that even though you're benefiting from it now, you are not going to understand how this causes a cataclysm later
Right.
for the collective. And it is simply because the divine feminine it absolutely has been abandoned, which is why I said it's great that they say that they've been saving the boys and all this shit like that. No, you've been saving the masculine elements of it, which is rooted in racism and supremacy. It has nothing to do with the true gentle nature of a child.
Mhm.
None. They're not gonna. People are not, and I know that is, as you were saying, an unreasonable, perhaps an expectation to expect people to give up what benefits them. But the only reason why they're only focusing on what benefits them is because the feminine has been abandoned. Because there's a
Right.
wholeness here that would be the focus. And so I just think that this particular conversation in and of itself, because I was not because I am a queer Black boy, I understand the facade of we making the football teams for the boys to protect the boys. You talking about protecting the boys from the streets, from gang violence. You're not protecting the boys who are gay and get jumped by their family members. You're not talking about protecting those boys. Those are not the boys that you are trying to protect. And again, there's the genesis to everything. And so the whole point of what it is that I'm saying is for us to use this evidence of these men to be the basis of how we raise our boys now.
Mhm.
And what example we give the boys now. Because if the boys were truly saved, we wouldn't be having these podcasters like this. It's an illusion. What I say, it's the illusion of inclusion. And so, summatively, I don't disagree with you, and I don't think you disagree with me. I think that we have the same goal.
It's like Malcolm and Martin.
Don't get riled up on that, please. Please get riled up on that. Don't get the people riled up on Malcolm and Martin. But okay, we're gonna rile up the people one last time, and we're gonna go.
Okay.
We're gonna get the people riled up one last time, and we're gonna go.
Y'all grandma, y'all scared of y'all aunts and y'all uncles and y'all mom and dad. Man, I'm gonna keep it real. They failed us. They died with the knowledge. And that shit pissing me the fuck off, bro. It pissing me off. Y'all scared, not me. Man, fuck them. They over 40, fuck them. They failed us. I don't even curse. That's how mad I am, man. I don't even curse. I'm on the phone with my cousin, bro. My big cousin, bro. And you know what he told me? He said, man, it's sad. We cousins. I'm getting the knowledge from you, man. We cousins. And I'm getting this knowledge from you. Because they died with the knowledge. I'm an entrepreneur. I had a family member tell me I'm proud of you. Man, at the same time I smiled, I cried. I cried. Because even though you're proud of me, you've been an entrepreneur for 30 years and you watching me doing this for years. Not once you gave me an entrepreneur tip. No knowledge, no advice. Y'all down with the knowledge. I get on Facebook, I'm watching my high school friends, my high school classmates. The women suffering. Because they mom and aunt them down with the knowledge. They got 4 kids, 3 baby daddies. They aunts and them used to be married, not married no more. They can teach them how to be wise or a mother. They aunts and they mama them got 4 kids and 3 baby daddies. And they can teach their daughter them, hey, I messed up. I'm going to teach you how to not be like me. I'm going to teach you how to be a wife, not a baby mama. But they don't want to do that because they down with the knowledge. They failed us. That shit pissed me the fuck off. Man, if you over 40, fuck you. We dying out here because y'all down with the knowledge. Now I see why they say the grave is the richest place. Because they got the older generation down with the knowledge. I told my cousin, man, it ain't your fault. You ain't got to call nobody. That's their problem. They down with the knowledge. We out here trying to have a family. You know what my uncles and aunts them should have did? They should call one of them. They should call Pisces. Hey, Pisces, I see you got a woman. I see you got a kid. You trying to do the family thing. Let me teach you how to be a family. Let me teach you how to be a man. How to be a husband. How to not be like me. I'm your uncle. I got 5 baby mamas. I got 10 kids. Let me teach you how to not be like me. Nope. They down with the knowledge. They failed us. It ain't our fault. It ain't us, our kids, that have to come to them. Now, our mom, our dad, our aunts and uncles and grandmas, man, they failed us, y'all. They dying with the knowledge, man. They dying with it. I'm looking at my hometown. I see people with businesses. And then they kids struggling. Won't even pass the knowledge down, man. They dying with the knowledge, man.
I was like, how long is this video? How many times is he gonna say die with the knowledge? I was just so kidding. I'm sorry, that killed me.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
You picked it. What? There's so many different perspectives you could take on this.
Yes.
He did veer off.
I was little like, okay, we're at 40, not over 40. If you're over 40, not F you if you're over 40. But I think that there is a conversation to be had here, not to just be all in August Wilson bag, but August Wilson does a lot of works, a lot of plays. If you don't know August Wilson, he's an author, a playwright. He does a lot of plays that speak about generational differences and issues. Jitney is one of the plays that speak a lot about generational, like that gap in communication and all of that. And so this idea, though, that he's speaking of, which was, he was very passionate. He was very passionate about it. But this idea of them dying with the knowledge, and not spreading the knowledge. He said that he has entrepreneurs in his family that didn't think to give him any advice or help him out at all. So do you think that is the responsibility of the family, of the elders?
It gets really mixy because my parents say the same thing, that if they long story short, my mom's dad worked for IBM when IBM was first started popping. I mean, he made major money. To this day, he has a lot of money, right? And he left my grandmother with $30 in her account and 3 kids, right? And my grandmother never went to college. And so she worked these menial jobs, you know, trying to make ends meet, and they struggled for a long time. And so my mom said, you watched me struggle when you had the opportunities. Your company had the internships. You had the knowledge of going to college. When I was trying to go to college, you didn't help me with the application. You didn't do all of those things. And I think so often, like, Black people have this like conscious or unconscious mindset of, if I got it, then you got to find your way too. Or I'm
Yeah.
so focused on making my day to day that I'm not focused on the future or your future. Whereas I see in banking all the time that white people focus on generational wealth. They're making their beneficiaries. They're doing all of these things in preparation. They don't have a problem with talking about death and passing that over. And we have such a, I think through, from slavery, we have such a traumatic response to our generations and what we're expected to do. Even asking my great grandmother about, before she passed, she was born in 1920, talking about her grandparents that she knew as sharecroppers and growing up, and she didn't want to share any of that. And I think some of it can be so painful in that rise to where you're at now, that people often don't share those things. I think that there is a mindset that you getting it on your own means that that you're better in some ways, or you're more achieved than somebody giving you something and you making something from that. Whereas
Right.
white people do not care about that. They just care about you having it. We don't care how you got it, as long as you get it. And there's I think, pros and cons to that, because there's the intention that it builds character. There's this intention that you're going to be this full person, that when you make it, that you have truly earned it. And I think that can create good people, but that also can create resentment and bad people. So it's a double-edged sword a lot of times.
Right. Right. I definitely agree. You know, you have the whole thing of, the child has to be out of the house at 18. You know, when just because you didn't have a house to be in at 18 and you were in a strict mode of survival, it does not mean that your children have to experience exactly what you experienced. In fact, that's why you experienced it, right? So that they
Right.
wouldn't necessarily have to. You get it how you live it. Hey, get it how you live it. Count them up, digit. I put up in the limit.
I'm screaming.
Knocks in and rented. Hey, just your eyes get acidic. It is saying that was the song I was waiting for Rihanna. I need Rihanna to bring Pharrell out. And we had at the Super Bowl. So I think that there's a point there, right? There's definitely a point. And yeah, it is this whole we think that can be the best way, but you're actually creating a sort of a competition between generations here. And I think that is there lessons and learning and all of that can come through that experience. Absolutely it is. But I think, to your point, it is a double-edged sword. It is also hazardous.
Right.
It's also hazardous.
It can become hazardous, especially when we're in, I think, these generations, and I think why we have the labels and all of that is because it's so pivotal, because times have changed faster than any other time period in history. So working in banking, you have older people who are used to checks and doing all this stuff, not used to doing it digitally. And as we move forward digitally, they are not prepared, or they don't want to mess with it at all and get very frustrated. And so now you have lessons that are passed on, but I think some of the lessons, as well as time has moved on, don't necessarily correlate with what I'm going through in this moment. And so people think that they're sharing certain things, that you'll gain certain things from those experiences, when you don't even know what it's like to live in this era of a time period. So I don't know how much and I think that may be the reason that they don't share as well. They don't feel like they know much about this era, or maybe their parents didn't know much about their era. So it's like, how do we're still trying to get people to move from mentalities and ideologies from slavery. So as time has moved on so quickly, it's not, it hasn't given, I think specifically Black people, enough time to catch up as well. So it's like, it's a lot.
Yeah, and so then to sort of flip the perspective here, you know, you have to seek knowledge too.
Mhm.
You
But
have
you don't know if you don't know too.
because when I was saying that about the men, when I was saying that about the men, no. They listen. Hey,
Everybody's still getting
everybody,
held accountable. I'm just saying, you just don't know
everybody
if
has
you
to get
don't
it how
know.
they live it. No, Smosh. Everyone has to get it how they live it.
Black men still can get held accountable and toe
But
up.
but this, I think, is an effect of that same shit that we was just talking about, though.
Mm-hmm.
It's an effect of that, where you don't know what it is you don't know. You don't know what it is that you should know.
Right.
You don't have a clue unless what? Someone who is freed from that experience, advancing that experience, says to you, this is not it, or this is it. And so, but I still think that you do have a responsibility, because he seems very aware of the problems.
Mm-hmm.
He seems very aware. And one thing that kind of stuck out to me was he was talking to his cousin. I guess he was saying like he called his cousin.
Mm-hmm.
And his cousin, he was like, no, you don't have to talk to them. I'll tell you. Okay, well, you have the knowledge. So why wouldn't you tell? Why wouldn't you spread it? Why does it have to be? Why does it have to be? Because if you understand, here we go to my same point. If you understand the genesis here, these individuals raised and live in survival. This is literally how trauma works. They was raised to do things a certain way, and that they were also raised to think that that was the only way
Mm-hmm.
to do it. And so it is foolish too, I think, to expect someone to do, in both instances, something they don't know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
Or they don't know they should do it.
Yeah, I I think so. I think now that I'm telling you that you should do it, then you should do it. Now that I'm telling you that you should share information, you should share information. I don't understand why then you wouldn't continue to, especially if I'm asking you, or you see me, this comes back to observation. You see me struggling. We've acknowledged the struggle. We've had conversations about me struggling.
Mhm.
And yet there isn't anything that you would like to say, or even when I'm asking you, you're not sharing those things. And I think too, yes, to the last comment as well, to the point of may want to give somebody space to do it. I think sometimes people, again, in discernment, you know who you can talk to. You know who's going to soak in that information and really take heed of it, and you know who are not. And I'm not wasting my breath on people who are not going to take it. So I again, were you somebody that listened at that point when you opened that business? Were you in that space? Are you in that
Yes.
space now because you're struggling?
Yes. And I also feel that, like, didn't want to give unsolicited advice. You're absolutely correct. They have to be willing to hear it. And the timing is everything. When the student is ready, the teacher, yes, absolutely, proverb. The student has to be prepared. Did he ask? Was he open to learn? Was he studiously observing them in the midst? Was the student ready? Yeah, this is very true. This is very true. So you do have to be willing. You do have to be willing. And the other thing is, and I think the point here is rather missed, because did they die with the knowledge if you know it now? Did they die with it if you know it enough to call your cousin and tell him what to do? Is it more important that they didn't give it to you, or is it more important that you currently have it?
But I think it's also the question of, yes, I may be able to go ask my cousin, but now I will never know what they knew. Yes, I may be able to grasp some solution, from this community that I've built. But there will always be that question of, well, did they know this? Or was this something that they could help me with? Or was that, and I think that question, for lack of a better word, haunts him, people as well. Like, well, they could have taught me this. Like,
Yeah. But he's going to continue to blow a gasket and remain upset his whole life in that expectation, I feel. Because what can you do with the fact that they didn't tell you, but you currently know? That's the part of in me that I'm like,
well, you know me. I'll windmill till we meet again.
Yeah, I think, but I want to also say that his feelings are valid.
I hate you. You did it again, Darcel.
What?
Where you're like, I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get the thought process. But I do want to say his feelings are valid, and I do want to say,
yes, I don't understand, but it is valid because I can understand why he's frustrated, which is my whole point. I can understand why he's frustrated.
But see, and here's the nuance. Yeah, okay, this is something completely different. Oh, and that's the thing too. Are you doing the same thing that you wanted them to do?
But that's what I'm saying. And he said that though with his cousin, that he helped his cousin. That's what I'm saying. So what is the upset about? To me, the effort and the time should be spent in saying, hey, when you learn, teach, and making sure that you spread the information that you know. I think that to me is where the emphasis should be.
They say I'm optimistic. Darcel be optimistic. I think that you I think you are correct. But I think there's also some like, just how much did they know? Am I receiving all the information? Am I going to get maybe did they know this piece and I don't know this piece, but in 20 years I'm going to get that piece? Like, now I've wasted time. Now I have all like,
but you know
yeah, I know what you're about to say.
Yeah. Because there is an appointed time. And that things happen when they're supposed to happen.
And did they happen because the spirit wanted them to happen that way? Or did they not happen that way because you didn't tell me that? Or was you supposed to tell me and you didn't? And now I'm going through this, and then the spirit just came out and was like, fine, I'll give it to you. Like, what is?
I think it's a appointed time. And there's a lot of shit that we think we want to learn sooner, but there wasn't shit you was gonna do with it then. And in reflection, we often say that. We say, if I would have gotten, okay, well, if I would have got, since he's so much contrary. In reflection, we often say, if I would have had this way, if I would have got that, I would not have learned all the things, because a lot of the lesson, the true learning doesn't always come in the answer. The true learning comes in the experience. That is a truth. And so while I get how it can be, that's why I said the feelings are valid. It is frustrating. And he has all the right to be frustrated, because it is frustrating navigating that. However, I think the energy to which he's putting into blame, he could be using that in other ways.
But I guess for me, it's like, because then there creates this idea that, okay, everything's supposed to happen when it happens, and I'm not supposed to be upset, and I'm not supposed to be mad because it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen, and all that stuff. But I feel like those two are not mutually exclusive. Like, And yes, he didn't have to put blame on them, but I can still be very upset and very passionate that this thing did not happen, even though I'm currently receiving it right now. I don't
And
think that
that's why I said his feelings are valid. All this shit is valid.
but you just said you didn't understand why he felt that way if he was getting the knowledge now.
No. What I'm saying is that he is misusing his energy now. He's misusing his energy now. I'm saying he's valid. He's valid to be frustrated. And I know sometimes that type of thinking can come across as toxic positivity, as if people are not supposed to feel anything or be frustrated by anything. Calm it down. Find it.
I'm finding it.
You know, I could understand that, but there are two things that can be true. This is equally frustrating, and you learned it when you're supposed to learn it. Is that a possibility?
I think those, I mean, hey, I just feel like we didn't have to go through all this, but then that's a whole other conversation. So let's
God, please, y'all, because Samaj be like, if it came down to if it was Samaj's choice, Samaj would be windmilling the divine. Period.
I just want I just want everybody to know that the Spirit told me that I was meant to be a lawyer and an advocate and to create community for femininity. And in doing so, I will forever windmill and argue down the system. I don't care about
the system. Yes. But yeah, that's why I think he's valid in the feeling. I think, however, he will end up wasting more of his own time, you know, remaining frustrated because energy and emotion is supposed to pass now, and you got to alchemize that whole, because there's a lot of us who claim, as a matter of fact, the same people you complaining about can express the same frustration with their forefathers and foremothers.
That have nothing to do with me.
And that's why Genesis. This why, and y'all, just so y'all know, this is always the end result of me and Samaj. This no matter what, it always ends in me talking about, but the origin, and Samaj said that don't have nothing to do with me. It always ends in this.
Well, that's what I said.
The side of the story is she probably was hard-headed.
But what did I say, Darcy? Before we even started this, I said there's so much nuance to people's perspective because people live in their own lived experience. And yes, that experience is true. But that experience can also be true as well. What was their experience? Did they feel like they could come to him and tell him these things? We don't know the nuances and dynamics, and people feel like because people are not able to emotionally articulate how they're feeling, then they see somebody else seemingly going through the same experience that they went through, instead of looking at their experience objectively and then attaching their issue with somebody else's issue. So now it becomes a problem with everybody who's over 40. Everybody got an issue. Meanwhile, you was probably hard. Well, I don't know his experience. He might have been hard-headed. Who knows? And he might not have had that whole it wasn't just them not sharing. So now he's attached himself to an issue that may have not been an issue for him. And so my issue.
Samaj, this is why they be mad at me. Because my summation every time is that it be you.
No.
No, you.
We don't.
And I know you, and even for the men, I windmill them by saying it's you. I windmill them by saying you are responsible, even though all this is true. Let's get clear on why you think this. And also, just to clarify, I don't expect any women to have to hold men accountable for what they do. That's not my expectation. I do, however, expect the men to hold the men accountable, but the men have the right to opt in or opt out. Okay. But I think that ultimately it's you. You are responsible for your life. You are responsible. Period. And that's where that get it how you live it energy comes from, because I think you are responsible. And there comes a time where you have to decide whether you're going to be in woe your whole life about this,
Mm-hmm.
or you're going to alchemize this and break that cycle. In fact, sir, the reason why you are going through this is perhaps because you're supposed to be that cycle breaker. That's a possibility. But if you continue to take it with the F, the ancestors, F, the lineage, F, that is reckless. Because many of the people who have the knowledge are paving the way for you spiritually. You know, I have the spiritual perspective. So they're paving your ancestors be working for you and helping you with what it was that they could not do in the physical. I think about the witch in Into the Woods. Have you seen Into the Woods?
I have not.
It's the witch, honey, who caused all this havoc, honey, but because they stole her beans, okay? That was the origin. And she sings a whole song about, you could just fix this, but all that matters is the blame. Someone you can blame. And if that's the thing you enjoy, placing the blame, if that's the aim, give me the blame. Do that. Because you that's it. You could just fix it all.
Mm-hmm.
You could just let me kill them up that took the beans and we can just be over it. But you want to blame somebody, but that doesn't do anything.
Absolutely. Well, you know, I told my mama, I said,
What? Say it.
It was reading the comment. But I think I told my mom too, I said, please stop giving me solutions. Because 9 times out of 10, you're giving solutions that I already know to be true. I'm not mad that I can't fix it. I'm mad that it happened. So can we please give me the space to be mad that it happened, so then I can go about my day and fix it? Like, and because people don't give people that room, they stay in it because they feel like they have to, like we had a previous conversation, they feel like they have to hold on to it because nobody else is. Nobody else is holding this person accountable. So now I have to hold it. Right. And what I've noticed, especially with Geminis, if I just say that was crazy and they should have done it, then we can move on because you're not really mad that you can't fix it. You're mad because this happened to you. So I think it depends on the person as well. Are you solution based? Are you not? Like, what is...
Okay, yeah. This was the part though. He lost him when he said the mamas and baby's mamas could have taught the daughters to be wives. They ain't wives either. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, you do have to take it, but that's it. I think the space has to be provided.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he got up on the platform to express that, perhaps because no one provided a space for him.
They all did. Wait.
So you said that, you know, we have to provide space for people to express that.
Yes.
And how does that show up? How do we provide space?
Well, you know, because even like I talked about, well, thank you. I'm sorry, I didn't put that. Thank you. I appreciate that. Because we often joke that I grew up with 2 dads because my mom is she grew up all boys, like very masculine. Dad, same way. So we did, and I said, you know, the spirit loves to play a joke on you because all the children are very feminine. So they would get very frustrated with all of us. So but they do, because there was no space for emotion. You know what I mean? A lot of times, like you said, when you're in a space where you have to do something quickly, you don't have time to sit there. But I read an article talking about emotions are an indicator of what you need. And a lot of
Absolutely.
times when you pass by emotion or you don't give somebody the space and you hurry up and fix it, they aren't able to sit with what do I need in this moment.
Absolutely. Your
And
emotions
so
are information. It's information.
and so now that I'm focused on solving this issue, if it comes up again, I'm still upset because now I haven't resolved what is truly making me upset. And I think a lot of us don't have that intelligence or emotional intelligence to know what is what and haven't been given the space to even explore those feelings. And so we cope every emotion with the same thing. And then it becomes hazardous to
Yes.
all of us, especially people who live in emotion as well. Yes. But you have to, oh, what is the thing? What did you say? Oh, I forgot, Darcel. Oof.
Samaj, you got to write things down at this point.
I
This,
know. I'm a note taker.
this is
I'm a note taker.
yeah. So we have to provide the space and give them the space to express what it is that they need to
That's what I
express.
was gonna say.
Whether it's right or wrong, still give them the space because there's no right or wrong. Whether it's harmful or not, still give them the space.
Well, see, you're trying to eat me up because we're talking about suicide, and I have helped some people through suicide, and I will just go ahead and say this, and the people can eat me up. One, I feel though, in my experience, if you write a note, if you say those things, if you say your final words, if you send a text before you do something, a lot of times those people do not want to end their life. They want somebody to save them. In my experience, people who have just done it, they didn't care about you, your mom. They didn't care about nobody. They were trying to resolve the issue, right? And so for me, what has helped me help others is really asking, what do you really want? Is this something that you really want to do? Even in those emotional spaces, what is it that you want and need? And so I think now that I have read the article, it is creating that these are the actual emotions that I'm feeling. These are my wants and needs that correlate with those things. And this is what I want to do. And I would just like to say I have 100% success rate, but it's really asking people what do they want? Because a lot of times people hold things in, not because they want to truly hold the person accountable, it's because they feel like nobody else is. So what do you truly want in this moment? Is it that you really want him to be his car down? Because we can go today. I went with a friend I was about to say something crazy, but I went with a friend to do some things, and we did the things, and that truly made her feel better, and we were able to move on. Is that something that you truly want, or is this something that you're just holding on because society told you not to? Like, I don't. It depends.
Yes. Nah, I'm gonna start saying I'm a Trump supporter. Why? A large platform just isn't that space. That was the point. They can have the space in their house, family, amongst friends, and therapy, not just on the large platform. Yeah, but that's what I was saying though. But if everybody is choosing to not understand that, then what space do they have but their platform that they can create for free? That was my earlier point.
My thing is they could do that.
We
don't want them to.
All I'm saying is
we don't want them to.
If we don't have the understanding for the individual, they have no space. They have no platform. They have nothing. So then they get on here because no one else is going to listen to them. And they get on here and they go right out there and create a free account, download Audacity, cut their webcam on, and they start spewing bullshit.
Yes. And one of the biggest things is people want to find community. If you don't have it, you're going to try and find it.
That's a good point. Yes, they do. Here she go. If you voted for Trump, just say that. Now, one thing she's good at doing is spinning a narrative. Y'all have to watch Queen. She will spin a narrative. Okay. Y'all have to watch. If you're a Kevin Samuels supporter, just
say that. Just say it. Just say it.
No, she's
you want to uphold black men and they're wrong. That's what you want to do.
No, she's not going to say this. No, y'all not.
You want to tell them they're wrong out loud, but want to tell them they're right at home.
No,
just say that.
You're a lying
bitch. Just say that. If you don't support black women, just say that.
No, y'all not gonna do that. No.
Come on, okay.
That is taking me out.
What's that man's name that got arrested? I can't remember his.
Audacity is free, and they snatching it up. Yes, they are. Not if I'm a passport, bro. I am
just
definitely not a passport, bro. I'm not. All I'm just saying. I'm just like, son. I'm just saying. That takes me out of here. Y'all, listen, we have been, hold on, let me see what they saying. Not if I voted for Trump. not if I voted for Trump.
If it's all lives matter, then just say that.
It's never that. In fact, they was tearing me up for what I did say about Kevin Samuels. I was like, well.
Oh God, what did you say?
Look. What? No. Not me from For Color Girls. Not me from For Color Girls.
Is you doing the bending?
Is you doing
No. No. Please.
I'm doing the bending. I am not Michael Ealy from For Color Girls.
Please.
All I said was you keep disrespect. All I said about Kevin Samuels was, listen, if you're anti-woman, you're anti-life. And if you're anti-life, you're pro-death.
I took the wind right out of him.
That's all I said.
Oh God, no, please. Let's move on. Oh my God. Please.
Okay. Listen, y'all, we have reached, and the shows keep every time. I think it's gonna be shorter every time.
And see, here we go with expectation.
You know what?
I don't have that expectation.
I'm not having any more expectation. Thank you, Samaj. I'm not having any more expectations from this point forward.
Y'all don't have to put the nail in the casket. Why did she say that?
What did she say? And he died. And did. And did. Samaj, did you go to the funeral?
What funeral?
Kevin's funeral.
He had one?
On that note, everyone for coming out here because the girl said that they had to have a GoFundMe. So on that note, we're gonna go ahead and get on up out of here, y'all. Thank y'all for coming out for windmilling on this conversation, honey, for having both of the perspectives. Here she go. Here she go. Samaj, now I need the blonde wig. Send it to me.
Please. Next week. No. Next week. Oh, you have to do a sickening, like, it has to be like a Marilyn Monroe blonde wig.
It has to be a Marilyn Monroe blonde wig. A Marilyn Monroe blonde wig?
It does.
Do you think I can pull that wig off? Do you think I can
Is
pull
that the
Monroe
point of wearing it? Did I think you were gonna look great in a Marilyn Monroe blonde wig?
Well, you know what? We will be going out with a good old prayer. And I think, you know, she is an infamous prayer. And so we're very grateful for her and her praying style. Okay. We're very grateful for that. Please hold.
No.
Please, Samaj, bow your head, please.
He makes me to like green pageant. He leads me beside the still whore.
Ow!
He leads me in the righteous for his name's sake. Ye I walk through a valley shelter of death. I will fear no evil. I will fear no evil. For they are with me. They rod and they staff, they comfort me. They comfort me. Amen. They prepare a table before me in the place of my enemies. Amen. In the place of my enemies. They anointed my head with oil, my cups running over. Surely, goodly and mercy, shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house.
Thank you so much, sister woman. Samaj, as you go, remember Shirley, Gully, and Mercy.
Yes, shall do well for all the days of my life.
And I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever and ever. Now she's trying to say I'm an atheist. Look how I play with the Lord. You know what? Shirley Gully. He said, yes. See, they were egging it on. See, if they was holding her accountable on that platform.
First of all, no, they should have had, and this is what I'm talking about. They should have had the discernment not to even ask her.
And on that note, y'all, thank y'all so much for coming out. Thank y'all for coming out, honey. It's been fun.